What's good, guys? On this episode of PhilmPod, I'm going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Episode 6. I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord, so far what I think about it and everything, and then finishing it off with the Michael movie review. But what's good, y'all? Welcome to PhilmPod, where we break down films in the way anyone can enjoy. Whether you're new to movies or a seasoned fan, you're in the right place. Also, if you guys don't know, this is going to be the first episode that Izzy's not a part of it. Sadly, he can't do it no more. He got a little busy, but hopefully in the future, I could be doing an episode with him again. It's been some fun times, but now let's get back to the core of things and let's get into our first topic. But before we do, I'm gonna just talk about my week because I forgot that's kind of what we do. Week's been pretty good, man. Like, I've been watching a lot of stuff. I've been trying to get back in my flow of keeping up with TV shows, movies, you name it. The week coming up, I'm definitely going to be doing a review on The Devil Wears Prada 2. I recently, I believe it was a month ago or two, saw the first movie, and I don't want to do anything yet on talking about it. I want to talk about it when I watch I almost said Daredevil, The Devil Wears Prada 2, and then combine the two reviews on that. But I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait, and I love Anne Hathaway, so I can't wait to see her back on screen. But either way, it's been good. Besides that, it's been chill. It's been very nice. Basketball's been going good. If you guys don't see the Laker little carpet in the background, Lakers playing right now. They're in the playoffs, and even though we lost the game, we're 3-1. It doesn't matter. I'm still happy that they're ahead the way they are. Just please don't lose a 3-1 lead. Please. Please don't. But you know who can't lose a 3-1 lead? Daredevil. You know why Daredevil can't lose a 3-1 lead? Because Brody don't play basketball. But you know what he does? He be beating the crap out of criminals, man. And in this season, he's really bro, Season 2, Episode 6. So far, I've really been liking Season 2. Like, without counting Episode 6 into it, I'm still so far at a 9 out of 10 for this series so far. Like, I really enjoy the story. I really enjoy not even just Matt and how he's, like, really going far down into, like, becoming fully Daredevil, but I feel like a different, darker Daredevil. Like, I feel like he's getting a little bit more violent than I remember, which I don't mind, but it seems like he's losing himself in it, and it's so good to watch. But these characters that we learned about in Season 1, I believe I gave Season 1 a 7 out of 10 because I was okay with it. I feel like it was more of an introduction than a really great season compared to the other seasons, but this season is really showing why you need to watch Season 1. Like, BB, Blake, Buck, all these other characters, Kingpin, forgot her name, but she was the one that Matt was dating at the start of the show in Season 1. Heather. I'm really liking all their arcs. I think the only difference is we don't have like a vigilante, like assassin type of villain like Muse in this one, but I don't really think it matters because it's just going so well, and it's mainly because of Kingpin. Like, I know me and Izzy were talking about it before, but Kingpin in Episode 6 has been unleashed. Guys, I'm gonna go full spoilers. Kingpin is nuts. He is off his rockers once again, and the episode starts off with him losing Vanessa. After losing Vanessa, and a doctor coming in who starts talking to him. And instantly, I'm like, I would have just been like, I'm sorry for your loss, and dipped. Like, I wouldn't have said anything else. He's over here still giving his little monologue. I'm so sorry for your loss. Just to let you know, Kingpin, Vanessa was a bright light. She was a very wonderful person. Just know she's going to be in that darkness or whatever for a good... I'm like, bro, will you shut up? What are you doing? That's Kingpin. That's Mayor Fisk. You know he doesn't play around. You saw him in that boxing match. Shut up. And he just keeps going on and on and on. And for a second, there was a little millisecond, I'm thinking, maybe Kingpin might embrace him. Maybe he'll, accept all these kind words he's saying about Vanessa. But knowing that he just lost the love of his life, who he really cared about, that was probably the only person he actually fully cared about. Maybe besides his mom or his family. I don't even know. I don't know the history of Wilson Fisk slash Kingpin like that. But he goes over. Doctor holds his hands out or arms out like, come give me a hug. Fisk goes up to him, snaps his spine. That was gruesome too. That was a gruesome way to start the episode. But that is exactly what I thought was going to happen. We talked about it last time. I told you guys, episode 5, if Vanessa dies, Kingpin's fully back. Forget Mayor Fisk, it's Kingpin now. Like we're fully in Kingpin mode right now, and it's scary. It's very scary. Not even just because in the past seasons of Daredevil, it's always been Kingpin, the mob boss, doing all this, doing all that. But now it's Kingpin who has unlimited power, who can get away with anything, and he has a secret police called the AVTF. Thank God I remembered that. I did not remember the last episode. I do not apologize. I hate them. I hate them a lot. I hate the head guy of the whole thing. And the fact that it's all Fisk, it's all like, and he has all these other people around him, it's scary. And now that Vanessa's gone, because of a vigilante, thank you, Bullseye, vigilantes in New York are screwed. Yeah, they're screwed. Like, if you thought, hey, maybe I could be undercover. Nope, they're going to find you. If you thought, hey, like, I might have helped a vigilante in the past, I'm good. Like, it was in the past, they will find you. That is how bad it's going right now in New York. I really want to see what Spider-Man was doing during this whole time, because I would have loved to see, like, out of the random, like, Kingpin. I know they mentioned it before, guy dressed up in, like, a spider costume. Like, I get it, but I would have loved out of the blue if he was swinging by and Kingpin's, like, gross or something like that. I don't know. But it's just crazy that now, once Vanessa's gone, we're getting this level of Kingpin again. And it's a worse version, in my opinion. Like, this is a scary, worse version of him. We go more into the episode, and it's at this point we get our first look at Jessica Jones. She's back. Spoiler alert. And it wasn't AVTF agents that attacked her house. It was agents of a certain fellow. I kind of want to call him Shaggy because I keep forgetting his name, but I'm still trying to see what his full role is in this. Like, there was a whole thing with, like, guns and how he didn't get them and now he's mad, or now I don't know if he's nervous or mad, but that was pretty much the whole thing I'm getting from him. Like, he has some type of hold over Kingpin, and I'm still interested. That's the one thing I'm waiting on to catch up. I know there's still more episodes, and it's probably gonna get a little bit more spicier in this next episode coming up, I believe on Wednesday. Yeah, but that part's going slow. But those are that guy and his henchmen attack Jessica Jones, so now she's back in the fold. Her and Daredevil team up, take down his little weapon spot, and it is awesome to see them fight together. It is so awesome. Spoiler alert, she has a kid, and it might be, I don't know, might be Luke Cage's, might be somebody else, we don't know. But because of the fact that she has a kid, her powers aren't working. Her powers aren't working as consistently as they were before. And that will probably be something interesting to investigate. But I just love that she's in it. I love that we have another hero from the past that is back on the spot with Daredevil, teaming up to take down this evil group. And I am so hype to see how big this rebellion gets for Wilson Fisk, because it's like they're really going into that, like the whole revolt thing that goes on at the, I guess, the Capitol building that they stay at in New York, where they had like a little memorial for Vanessa, but then all of a sudden anti Kingpin protesters come up, and they don't trash it, but they start protesting, and it turns into a wild little, moment. And obviously the AVTF come up, and it gets bad. This is where I bring the one guy back up, the leader of the AVTF, and he just gets on my nerves. Every time I see his face, he has such a punchable face. Like, I really do not like this guy. Powell. That's his name, Powell. I don't like him one bit. I don't. I never liked him even from the jump. Probably because he killed White Tiger. Probably because of that. Spoiler if you haven't seen Daredevil Born Again Season 1. But I just don't like the guy. I really don't. And his partner, even he, I get off vibes with him, but from something that happened this episode, it brings back something from, I believe it was episode 4, where there was an AVTF enforcer. I don't want to say soldier. Enforcer, I guess, who is apparently on the rebelling side, because when Karen captures him, and this is the same guy, that guy. When Karen captures him, he's saying that, hey, I'm on your side. I'm here to help you out. Apparently, Powell's onto him, and Buck figured him out. And what Powell does was so dark, so, especially doing it out in the open. It's like, I really don't like you, bro. I get it. I do, but let's remember, you're not at war. You're in a city as a secret police. People can see what you do. I know he did it behind a car. Spoiler alert. He shoots straight in the head the traitorous AVTF correspondent. Shoots him straight in the head. And it was funny, too, because he uses a line from old, I believe it was Al Pacino movie, where he said, I know it was you, Fredo. He spins it in his own way, because he's evil, but before he shoots him in the head, he says the word. He's like, I know it was you, Fredo, or whatever it was, and then boom, shoots him straight in the head. And I'm just like, whoa. Even his partner's like, what the heck, pal? But the fact that he even tries to swing it, going like, oh, the protesters attacked us, get them, weapons free. I was like, you are so evil, bro. Like, I can't wait to see if he gets his, bro. I can't wait. But this episode was so complicated because, you know, Kingpin, he's having that moment that he did in season 1 where, I mean, yeah, he was trying to be a nicer mayor and all that and just focus on being a mayor, like a man of the people. But then he loses himself, especially with the whole Vanessa, like, sleeping with another dude, and then he ends up killing that dude. But with this one, it's different in season 2, because it's so interesting to see, like, now he has that power, and now he knows what he can get away with. And now, because Vanessa dies, it's scary to think that he can do more than what he's already doing. Like, it's scary. And it shows us that when he goes back into his little dungeon or whatever, his kingpin, I don't know, pit, whatever it is. And then Daredevil finds him there, and he's trying to talk with him, going like, yo, I'm sorry for your loss too, bro. And he's being a little kind of him. He's like, do you really care? And they're actually having a conversation. And they end up duking it out, and it's a really good fight. Like, it really was a really good fight. Like, you could tell, like, Matt was holding back just a little bit for a second. Kingpin was doing all, like, throwing punches, throwing bows. Like, I still don't understand how he's as strong as he is, but it's still really cool, and it's so weird, because in any other movie or series where you see just a random guy who's super strong, and you're thinking, oh, he got dumped in a vat of acid. He worked out so much that he just ended up like One Punch Man. No, this guy is just strong to be strong. He almost, I can't say he's like Superman because he's not that strong, but he's still very strong, where he can break bricks with his stinking hands or something. But just seeing him throwing those hands, and then Daredevil out of the blue just going like, do you really want this? And then all of a sudden, when Brody tries to attack Matt just flips the switch and just goes nuts on him, starts beating the crap out of him, and even knocks him out. And then we have the other thing that happens, where in the midst of the protest, Karen starts, she's the one who put the words on the Capitol building saying like rebel, revolt, all that. She gets captured by Powell at the end of the episode. And I'm instantly nervous because it's Powell. I don't like Powell, but episode 6 was so good. It really was. And I feel like it's just getting darker and darker and more scarier. But I like what it feels like it's leading to. Because I feel like we're getting to a point where this is a breaking point for every character. Not just Daredevil, not just Kingpin, not even just Bullseye. I feel like every character is at their breaking point. Like, Heather's at a breaking point, Karen's at a breaking point, and there was a really good scene between her and Matt where she almost kills Bullseye. And they both just have a really good discussion on what is going on, why are we the way we are currently, what changed, and that really sums up the whole season, in my opinion, of season 2. Like, so far at episode 6, because I think we have 9 episodes, 10 episodes left, but I know we still have a couple episodes left. But it's such a good point to just realize, yo, everyone is at their breaking point. You have Pal too, who's at his breaking point, where he's just like, I mean, he shot that kid, part of the AVTF, in cold blood in front of everybody. It's nuts. We got Kingpin, just lost Vanessa. We got Daredevil, just witnessed Bullseye, and now he's in a little. I mean, he's obviously not going to kill him, but it's crazy to think he has Bullseye right there, the dude who killed Foggy. And he could still be thinking, like, should I let this guy go? Should I just let him die? Like, he deserves it. But no, I'm a hero. I'm a good hero. I can't do that. It's against my code. Then you have Karen, who's trying to kill him because, I mean, he killed a lot of people and he killed Foggy, killed Vanessa. Then there's just so many different breaking points. You got Blake and BB. They're on their breaking points too. Like, it's just a crazy season, and I really liked episode 6 for reminding us about that and even showing us that there's more. Like, this is where we're at, but there's more with these next episodes coming up. I don't know what next is going to come. I think it's going to be definitely Kingpin, like, making some type of crazy law that just lets the AVTF get away with literally, like, fully shooting people out in the open, like, without any, like, cause. Like, I think it's going to get to that point. But I'm just so nervous. I'm so, like, into this season. And every single time, I'm just way more into this than season 1. Way more. It seems like we already had the build up, and now it's just, here we go. Here we go. And I'm excited for it. But this is so far a very good season. If I were to give this a bad rating, I think it would have to be because maybe if it was just, this is the high point of it. If we stop at episode 6 and then the rest of them are just based, if it's just like we're talking, we're not getting into no action, we're not getting, like, I think this needs to be the season where it's like, okay, we're getting into some fights, Daredevil's fighting the AVTF, Pal's getting unlimited power, Kingpin's going nuts, killing all these different, probably like high up people that are like right next to him. But that is how I just envision this. It's a good season. It's very good. All 6 of these episodes so far have been very good. I haven't hated one. But like I said, I need to see how this season finishes. I need to. But so far, I'm at a 9 out of 10. I am. And also, man, stinking Charlie Cox, you're so good at being Daredevil, man. You are so good. Same with homeboy who plays Kingpin. He is giving a crazy good performance. But the supporting cast is lifting their weight as well. Like, it's just so good. And I can't wait to see how it ends. Let's get into Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord. Izzy was on this before me, and I was hoping to hear his thoughts on it. I know he said that every episode is very good, but I wish he could have gotten the spoilers, and I wish I was there with him because of it. But I can see why he was saying these last episodes, or all these episodes, have been really good. They've been building really well, and I'm just very impressed. If you guys don't know what Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord is, this is another installment in the Star Wars saga, another story, and this is specifically in the Star Wars The Clone Wars timeline. Like, this is post Clone Wars. If you guys haven't seen it, I still think it's the greatest. Well, not the greatest Star Wars content. I'll say the best Star Wars content we've gotten after the first 3 movies, the prequels, and then boom. Like, Star Wars The Clone Wars is my favorite. Like, I love Star Wars The Clone Wars. I've seen it probably a million times, like, over and over and over again. And I'm very glad that they brought it back to give us that legendary last season. Unbelievably good, but this is post that, and this is with Darth Maul. If you guys don't know, Darth Maul is one of the best characters in Star Wars The Clone Wars, including Anakin Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano. Like, Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's so many characters. Captain Rex. I'm so sorry. I just really love Clone Wars, but there's so many characters that are so good in this, but Darth Maul is definitely one of them. And his voice actor for this show, even just in the shows past these in general, Sam Witwer, bro, you are unbelievably talented and good at voice acting, and specifically voice acting for Darth Maul. So many times, even at the start of the first episode that I watched, even if he's just walking or showing, like, walking up in the most coolest way possible with so much stinking aura, once he says one word, oh man, that voice, bro, it's so chilling, so like creepy, but so like depressing. It's nuts. Like, I'm so impressed with it. I'm so impressed. I believe I'm caught up. I'm caught up because I watched 8 or 7 episodes, and it's going so good so far. Like, every single scene, and I'm honestly also impressed with the fights. It looks so much better than the early episodes of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and I know it's not a crazy thing to say now because it should. Like, if the project is of today, it should look a little better, but I don't feel like that was the emphasis of Star Wars: The Clone Wars at the beginning. Like, it was just all about these different stories going along with the Clone Wars, and I was always impressed with that. But I think this is just a carryover of one of the best looking fights to me in Star Wars: The Clone Wars was the Ahsoka Tano versus Darth Maul fight when they are on Mandalore, when Darth Maul takes over it. And it was the last episode before you get into Order 66, which was nuts. Like, I love that, those 3 episodes. Like, it still blows my mind, but going from that and having that be the animation level the whole way through on just these last 8 or 7 episodes of Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, it looks so good. There's 2 Jedi in this series that Darth Maul, and spoiler alert, later jumps into the Inquisitors, and those fights are really good, but the lightsabers look so cool. Like, the way the laser looks on the lightsabers looks insane, looks beautiful. And there's one really good shot when it's finally just these 2 Jedi. For a second, I just really didn't think they had lightsabers for some reason. I was like, where are their lightsabers? And I know they have to hide them, obviously, because this is post Order 66, and Jedis are like stinging treasonous traitors, according to everybody, and they can't really show themselves, so I get it. But it just really shocked me when, Maul comes out of nowhere, and you're thinking he's just going to chase him down. Like, I'm thinking he's just going to chase him down, it's going to be whatever. But then they get their lightsabers out, and there's this really good shot of, like, the Jedi on this side, Darth Maul on that side, red right here, blue right here, cut in half, black in the middle, and it looks so good. And next thing you know, fight starts, and it's just such good choreography. Like, the guy from Allstate is apparently the Jedi Master's, the voice of the Jedi Master, and I'm actually shook. He's the voice of Master Iko Diodaki. I'm just gonna say that, and he's a very interesting character. I really like him. Like, I love him as a Jedi Master. But then also, a woman named Gideon Adlon, she plays Devin Izara, and she's a really cool character. Like, with her, I'm really interested in her because her whole thing is she is a Padawan of the Jedi Master, and she's still new to this whole thing, but she's pretty impatient. She's very like, we can't be so naive on certain things. We have to go with the flow of today. We have to evolve. And the Jedi Master's like, no, you don't have to. Like, he's trying to show her there's a different way. But then that gets in conflict because she bumps into Darth Maul, and he's like trying to like sway her over to his side, even though he doesn't really have a side, but it's not the Jedi way fully. I guess, I don't know. But it's just, I love how it's messing with her because she obviously does not like Darth Maul. She's very like, he's evil, but she can see his point of view. I know she can see it because there's so many times she has that look where she's thinking about it. And then she meets up back with her master, and it's always, okay, yes, master, I got you. Like, whatever you say, I will do. But then Maul comes into the picture, and it's, but we should do it this way. We should change up how we fight. We should change up how we think, the usual way we do things. And it's so good. I love that because it's just a struggle on like new things and changes in the world. And it's not the simple like, oh, let's like you'll understand what I'm saying. I'll have you speak with Jedi Master Yoda. I'll have you speak with Jedi Master Mace Windu. Nah, you can't do that because the Jedi are gone. You can't, so it's fully up to you. It's fully up to you to make sure she's okay, she's out of danger, she's away from the Empire, so that she doesn't die. But it just makes it that much harder to keep her on the side of the Jedi, on the flow of the Jedi, because there are no Jedi. It's just you two. So then when Maul comes in the picture, it's that's the only other like force wielding person she can talk to, unless she talks to an Inquisitor for some reason. But that's the only other person who like she can somewhat trust. I don't know. It's complicated in the show right now because, spoiler alert, you don't know. Stuff hits the fan. Stuff hits the fan pretty fast, and it's crazy. Because the reason why the story is so good so far to me is because Maul is the head of a syndicate, I believe the Shadow Gang or whatever. I forgot the name, but he is feared, and he's trying to keep his appearance on the low. He's not trying to have too many people know that he's back. Obviously, the people that maybe owe him money, maybe had his loyalty, or he owed him a favor. Those are people that he doesn't mind like knowing where he is. But the show gets really good when the Empire gets into it. Like, it was already going good. It was already getting pretty crazy. But when the Empire comes, oh man, that's when you instantly have to be like, oh, you got to shut up. Because there's this really cool guy. He's part of the police force on this city. And over again, I was hearing his voice. And I was like, this sounds like somebody. I don't know who this is, but this sounds like, I've heard this voice before. I've heard it, and I kept saying in my mind, I'm like, Civil War. Civil War. Civil War. That's Wagner Moore. That's Wagner Moore in Star Wars. I was so shook. I was like, what is he doing in this project? I didn't know you were in this. I was so hype. I was like, I can't believe it. He's playing Brander Lawson. Brander Lawson. He's such a cool character as well. There's a lot of cool characters in the show if you don't know. But it's just so cool that he's doing a Star Wars project because I really like Wagner Moore. I think he's a talented actor. I didn't get to see The Secret Agent yet, but I hope to. That was the only other movie I didn't get to see that was nominated for Best Picture. But either way, he does a fantastic job in this. His character is super cool. But his character is the one who really has you thinking, oh boy. Because over and over and over again, he's the one who knows Maul is on the in the city. There may be more that's going on that's really worse. And they know that when you see something like that, force-wielding person holding a lightsaber, you got to report it. And he knows to himself, and I like it. He just keeps saying, don't report it yet, because we don't want the mess of the Empire being here. Like, you don't want them here. And there are two characters that got on my nerves a couple of times, because they're like, no, like, well, one, it's protocol. Two, like, the Empire's not bad. He keeps saying, you don't know the Empire then. And I love when he says that, because that just shows you, like, also, I love him as a character, but that just shows you he doesn't mess with the Empire. Like, he doesn't. And right when one character signals to the Empire, yo, we got some issues down here, we got a force-wielding person, come on, we need the backup. That's when you see his face and you're like, oh no. Like, literally right when everybody's beepers go off, you're like, oh shoot, they're here. The space Nazis. Crap. And man, I just knew, for some reason I felt like Darth Vader was going to come out of nowhere, but it was the Inquisitors, and I thought that was still even cooler, because I love the Inquisitors, but I would have went nuts if Darth Vader came down and we got to see like a sticking fight between Darth Maul and Darth Vader. Like that would have been cool. But I don't care. I don't, because you don't need Darth Vader for everything. And if he does show up, I'm gonna freak out, because that last scene in Star Wars: The Clone Wars where you do see Darth Vader, hurt my soul. Obviously, I knew it was coming, but it hurt my soul because I love Anakin Skywalker. But anyways, getting back into Star Wars Maul. The show is very good. I always root for Clone Wars stuff. Even Star Wars Rebels. I wasn't the biggest fan when it first came out as a kid. I only watched the first 6 to 8 episodes of it and stopped. But then when I watched the rest of it, got to the last season, finished it, even before Ahsoka, I was like, this actually is pretty good. It just took me a while to warm up to it. Once again, I'm more of a Star Wars and Clone Wars fan. That's number one to me. But Rebels and Star Wars Maul so far, such good project. Star Wars and Clone Wars is always going to be a 10 out of 10 to me. But Star Wars Maul and Star Wars Rebels, I believe those are going to be 9 out of 10s for me. Like, they're very high up. I'd rather watch those projects than a lot of other projects. Got a debate on The Mandalorian because I really love The Mandalorian, but Star Wars Maul is really good. It's very good. And I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you should watch this, because there's a section in these last couple episodes where Maul is just dealing with him. He got hurt, and so now he's memorizing or going through a lot of his past memories of him being a Padawan or an apprentice, whatever they call it, and just all of the abuse he suffered when he was going through what he was going through. But he's such an interesting character. He's so... Because sometimes you don't... I think after he saved Ahsoka, I kind of am rooting for him. Before, when I first saw him in The Phantom Menace, I was like, kill him. Kill him. He's got 2 double-edged swords that are red. Kill him. But I really feel for this guy. I really do. And he is growing to be one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars series overall. Like, he was introduced with one of the coolest fight scenes of all time in Star Wars. Even though you hated him for a sec for something he does, if you haven't seen The Phantom Menace, I highly recommend you see it, because what have you been doing with your life? But going from that to having a crazy good arc in Clone Wars, to having a decent arc in Star Wars Rebels, to having a great arc at the end of Clone Wars, and then getting a really good, your own stinking spin-off show in Star Wars Maul, is so awesome and commendable. It's just nuts. But I really love this voice cast. I really love the animation for this version of the Clone Wars saga, even though this isn't Clone Wars. This is, I'm just saying, the artwork style, the story, Clone Wars, whatever. But I just really appreciate that they're continuing these, like, projects this way. I don't know if it'll get a season 2. It has good ratings so far. Depending on how it ends, I would hope for it to get a season 2 or just something. But I just want them to keep doing these projects the way they are. I want them to keep making these, like, Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Maul, Star Wars Ahsoka, even though Ahsoka already had her own thing, live action. I liked it. I'm still a little bit questionable on that, but just keep giving me projects that are, like, in this animation style, because I love it. I really do. But I think you guys should catch up. They're 30-minute episodes, really easy to watch, really nice to watch too. I highly recommend this to Star Wars fans, highly recommend it to Darth Vader fans in general, or just even the Sith or red lightsaber fans. I'm joking around. But I highly recommend you guys watch this, because he's such a good character in this show. I think this is the best version of Darth Maul we're getting. I think the side characters are really good too, and I think just them encapsulating how much of a danger the Empire is and how much of a nuisance they are is awesome. Because once again, they have their own conflict. Darth Maul's in the city. They're trying to keep it on the low. Like, they're fighting each other. Next thing you know, the Empire comes down and they all have to team up and lock in, because they know these guys are the true bad guys. And that is such a good thing to show us. Such a good thing. Such a good differentiation point right there. But I love the show so far. I mean, like love. I'm in the middle, or not in the middle. Yeah, I'm in the middle. My bad. But I'm at a high 8 out of 10 for this show, a high 8 out of 10. But I love it, and I can't wait to finish this season. I'm probably gonna have a higher rating once I do finish it. Izzy, if you're watching this, you were right. This show kicks butt, and I can't wait to finish it. But you guys definitely should check it out. And the moment you've all been waiting for. Actually, the moment I've been waiting for, because I've always, always wanted to rate and review a Michael Jackson movie. Like, there was a part of me even wanting to just rewatch Jackson's An American Dream and just even talk about that. But when I found out they were doing a Michael Jackson movie, I went, wait, I'm going to watch this movie and then I'm going to talk about it. Guys, if you don't know, before we get into it too, I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Huge. Love the man, love the Jackson 5, love the music, love the dance moves, and love the dedication he put into entertaining people. You know how hard it is to be one of the best singers of all time and one of the best dancers of all time? And if people want to disagree with one of those two, just know. Go and search up Michael Jackson on YouTube and tell me I'm wrong. He probably has the greatest music videos of all time, too. My bad. Before I geek into it, let's focus on the movie. Come on, Phil. Let's focus on the movie. There were reviews that went out. Reviews by film critics. Like myself. I'm not a professional film critic. I'm just a dude who loves talking about movies. And let me tell you, when they first came out, I was very nervous. I saw a lot that were saying, this movie's boring. They make Michael Jackson boring. It doesn't do it justice. Let me tell you, when I went in that theater, sitting in my seat, nervous out of my mind, because I'm just thinking, maybe Jafar just didn't do that good of a job as people wanted playing Michael Jackson. Let me tell you, all that went away. All the thoughts went away right when the movie starts playing. Hearing that intro, and I'm just going to go straight into spoilers, guys. I'm going to go straight into spoilers. Hearing that intro of, oh man, I just, the goosebumps that went over my whole body when I'm just hearing the theme of wanna be starting something to start the movie was just such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. And I'm just, my heart's racing. My heart's pumping. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really happening. All the ads are going through. Then they show the ad with the shoes, which I loved when I would play Michael Jackson, The Experience on the Wii. But it's starting. And the music stops for a second. I'm like, oh, they're not doing that song? They're not. And then all of a sudden they show you the shoes. The shoes, the walk. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just sitting there like, okay, here we go. This is happening. This is happening. And you just hear that boom, bum, 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 bum. And then the music and the movie starts and you're just like, wow. So if you guys don't know, just to get out the way, I love this movie. I loved it. I was unbelievably impressed with Jafar Jackson playing Michael Jackson. I really just thought there were going to be some nice scenes where he just looks and sounds like him, and that's it. Let me tell you, the one scene that really woke me up, it was already going good. It was already going good when he was singing, when he was doing Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. That already gave me goosebumps. But the scene that really just took me out is when he finally gets into the process of making the Thriller album. And oh my gosh, my reaction, my theater's reaction was nuts. There was one guy in there who just said, here we go. And that's what I said in my head instantly, right when we're getting to that point. When he gets into his own music studio and he starts coming up with music, and it's just, there's no soundtrack playing, there's nothing. It's just a whole bunch of snaps, whole bunch of beats, a whole bunch of him moving his mouth, beatboxing and everything. So nuts. Such a good way to show how creative Michael Jackson was, as I'm hoping. Obviously, I didn't know everything about Michael Jackson, but just to see that and to finally like him go like, yo, I want to work on something. And then you hear the Beat It beat start playing and you're like, oh my gosh, here we go. And at this point, you know, we saw the little kid version of Michael Jackson dancing, and we know he can dance, but we haven't seen Jafar Jackson start dancing. We haven't seen him dance yet. So he's going to the studio. We have Bloods on this side, Crips on this side. They're popping and locking. Some of them are doing the sea walk. Michael Jackson walks in. He's just watching them dance, and they're fanboying and geeking out, seeing Michael Jackson right there, according to the movie. And then he tells them, yo, I want to work on something. I want to have you guys also be in my short film. And finally, we get to see him practice the steps for Beat It. And let me tell you, that was probably my favorite. Like, there were obviously a lot of favorite scenes in this movie, but that scene specifically was my favorite because this is the scene we finally get to see what Jafar Jackson has been working on to fully mimic Michael Jackson's moves. And let me tell you, when he's practicing the moves with the backup dancers in the background, and he just goes, 1 second, let me try something. And he starts doing the exact moves Michael Jackson does, the exact same mannerisms, the exact same facial expressions, the exact same movements. It's like, whoa. I know that's his nephew. I understand that's his nephew, but I'm not going to lie. That was Michael. That was a reincarnation of Michael. You can't tell me nothing. Jafar Jackson is now Michael Jafar Jackson. I'm sorry. That is Michael Jafar Jackson. That was unbelievable. Unbelievable. When he does the kick, when he starts singing, and then, man, when he just says, okay, I want to try with the music, the goosebumps I felt when he goes in, he's just like, beat it, beat it. I was like, whoa. He's been working. And honestly, he probably has always been working. You never know. He probably just always had the moves on him. I mean, he is a Jackson, but it was just so incredible to see that because I was waiting. I was like, I want to see him actually dance. I want to see if he really was like in the zone with, and he was. Feel like low key Michael Jackson just came in and possessed him and just like every scene he was dancing, it was just Michael Jackson actually dancing. But that's how incredible and how mirroring it was. Like he literally mirrored Michael Jackson. And then the Thriller part of the movie. Oh my gosh. Exact copy. Exact. Like, that is how good Jafar did as Michael Jackson. I really feel like if critics, like I know they're the first ones to see it, but if they were the ones who were gonna like call this movie boring, call this movie whatever, I don't even know. They probably weren't fans of Michael Jackson. I'm being for real. They probably weren't. And I wasn't bored at all with the movie. I thought the story that they showed you was good. And shout out to Coleman Domingo. Like, I might have to hate you now, bro. And I apologize for that. It's just hard because you played Joe Jackson. And let me tell you, you did a very good job of playing Joe Jackson. But that was another really good thing the movie did that I was really impressed with. Like, I was talking to my mom about this. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to pull that out because talk to my mom a lot about movies too, and she's the one who really got me into the fandom or helped me become a fan of Michael Jackson, just his music, his dance moves, everything. And it's crazy too because she's a Prince fan. like she is a Michael Jackson fan, but she's a Prince fan. And so I'm talking to her because she's the one who put me on the Jackson 5 and American Dream, and we watched that movie, I want to say twice or 3 times a year. And one thing that I really liked about Jackson's American Dream is this literally is about the Jacksons. Not just Michael Jackson, not just Joe Jackson, not just Katherine Jackson. It was everyone. Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, all of them. Even the little sisters and little brothers they don't even talk about, or even their friends. They talk about the whole family in that movie. And then eventually it gets on to the Michael Jackson part and him going solo, him doing his stuff. But it still keeps it in the family. It still shows you Angela Bassett's version of her being the mom of the Jackson 5. It still shows you all of the different personalities of the Jackson 5. This movie, I love how the main focus was Joe versus Michael Jackson. It shows you how much anxiety Michael Jackson faced versus his dad on certain things. Because, I mean, we all know, like, according to whatever, like, Joe Jackson was a very abusive, very pushy father when it came to it with the Jackson 5 and even just Michael Jackson. And them showing how anxious, how scared Michael felt from a young age to, like, adulthood, and how hard it was to to get away from his dad was such a cool, interesting story point. Because his mom says a line in the movie where she's like, Michael, I just know you are destined for greatness. You are the main one. You are the Jackson. And it's like, wow. Like, unbelievable. And the dad, Joe, like, this is past the whole giving whoopings thing. This is when I want to say this is when Michael Jackson is 25 or 26. Like, he's already at, like, no, he's not even at peak stardom. He's still, like, reaching his peak. I don't even know if there is a peak point. I think there's always been a crazy version of Michael Jackson. Every version is crazy, but it was so cool to see how much or how hard it was in this movie for Michael Jackson to say no to his father, to try to push his father away, to try to get away from his father because of all the times he was trying to use him for his fame. And Coleman Domingo does such a great job of showing that. There are so many scenes where all he's thinking about is the money, all he's thinking about is the promotion, all he's thinking about is how to get his whole family back on top. And at first, when I say that, it sounds pretty good. It sounds like he might be being a great father and keeping the family together. But if you really know the story, and if you really know how he was, if you watch the movie and know how he was actually setting it up, you know he wasn't doing it for the family. He was just doing it for the money. He didn't fully care about his boys being on top. He wanted to just, on his own, have money, keep it going, and have just like a money machine over and over again. But I just love how I just love how there were so many times Michael Jackson the movie was speaking with somebody of like a high, like a CEO or whatever. He'd just be like, all right, on one condition. Don't tell my father. Like when he said he wants to work on an album by himself, he tries to get somebody to tell his father that he's going to work on an album by himself. And it was at the point where they told Joe that, yeah, he's going to be working on an album by himself. But then Joe was like, hey, he can do whatever he wants after 9 to 5. But 9 to 5, he's here with his brothers. And they didn't even have the strength to go like, yeah, but Michael wants to do this on his own. He doesn't want to be part of the Jackson 5 anymore. It's like, wow. So then later, finally, when Michael has that moment to tell his dad, or to ruin that money-making scheme of his dad, was just an awesome scene. And it's during the Victory Tour section. Spoiler alert. It's towards the Victory Tour point. And this is when the Jackson 5 are having their pretty much last tour, or their beginning tour. This is Joe's words. This was going to be their first tour, and then they were going to make it into a big thing where they're traveling all over the world, still being the Jackson 5. But the best moment in that scene, Obviously, any moment with Michael Jackson singing is incredible, but the moment when he tells the crowd, this is the farewell tour of the Jackson 5, and them panning the camera over to Joe Jackson's reaction, and Michael even looking Joe straight in the eyes, saying all these words. This is the end of Jackson 5. This is our last tour. I love you all. And then leaving was one of the coldest scenes. Coldest in the movie. Because it finally shows he's grown up. Even though he's been growing up, he's grown up. He's fully mature. He finally realizes who he is. And he's finally getting away from Joe. And that was such a good scene. Even when Joe, because let me remind you, even being in a room, young Michael couldn't even look at him. He was even scared of him. Even when he's older, when he's a teen or even 19, 20, he's still afraid to be in the same room with Joe. He's still afraid to speak his mind with Joe. So for him to do that at that point, awesome. And then we get a crazy transition, which I also loved. A crazy good transition where we go from that Michael walking away from the farewell tour to getting the bad version of Michael Jackson and seeing a crazy good concert scene with him singing Bad. And man, my theater went nuts when that happened. And even just the whole walk-up scene, he finally turns his face. We finally see it because it's the beginning scene. It's the beginning scene of the movie. And it gets a full circle. We finally get to see the bad version, unironically, of Michael Jackson. And once that song finishes, boom, end of the movie. And I was unbelievably impressed. I just couldn't believe it. Spoiler alert, there's going to be a second movie coming out. And I can't wait to see which era we're going to be in, which time zone we're going to be in, because I'm going to be seated no matter what. But the fact that this movie was fully just about Michael becoming Michael, fully, love that choice. Love it. Critics trying to call this movie boring. I don't know what you wanted. I loved it. A lot of people love it. It has a 97% score on Rotten Tomatoes. I believe it has like a 7.7 or whatever on IMDb. I don't care. I'm giving you guys my personal take. I love that movie. And I need to see it again. 9 out of 10, just to get my review out the way, 9 out of 10, but I was just fully in love with this movie. And I can't wait. I still want to see other people's reactions when they go see it. I want to get their thoughts on it, but I also want to get your guys' thoughts on this. Like, for all you guys specifically guys who aren't Michael Jackson fans, I want to know what you guys think as a pure movie. Like, did you think this was a boring movie? Did you think that this was a decent movie, or did you love it? Like, I just want to know, because once again, I am a huge Michael Jackson fan, but I really did like the story. I really did like the way they shot dance scenes and even just how they showcased his creativity on creating music. I loved it. And maybe it's cheating because it's Jafar Jackson. It's Michael Jackson's nephew in the role, but he was incredible. And Coleman Domingo was incredible. Nia Long was incredible. Like, all the actors in this movie were incredible. And I just love how it was so smooth. Like, I just don't know what other people wanted with it. I don't know what you can go with. And that was, for a point, that was what I was scared about coming out of this movie. I was thinking, am I going to be too much of a Michael Jackson fan explaining this? But honestly, I really just loved the story. I loved it. I loved that it gave me goosebumps with different things, but I love how the focus was Joe versus Michael Jackson. And I think that is the thing that drives it the most. Because everybody knows it. Everybody sitting there knows it. Everybody who's around Michael knows it's him versus Joe. And that was good that the story did that. But I don't know, guys. I know there's a lot of people out there who, like, listen to their favorite critic and whatever they say goes. But I just think from here on out, like, same with the whole thing with the Super Mario Galaxy movie. There were critics who gave it a 26 or a 22. The audience gave it a 95 or a 94. I just think you guys got to just go watch movies and just see it. Get your own opinion. That's what we teach at film. That's what we try to show you guys. Like, I will always have my own opinion no matter what. Really liked the Super Mario Galaxy movie, but I really loved the Michael movie. And critics can say whatever they want, but there's always going to be times where you just disagree. And I wholeheartedly disagree with the film critics with this one. This was a great movie. And for you guys to say it was boring, I just don't. I would love to know why, because I could not see it. But please let me know down below what you guys think. I'm just so curious to hear. I low key want to hear a negative review. I want to hear what possibly could be bad with this, because I can't find it. Maybe it's just that it was in too much of the same era as the exact Jackson 5 and American Dream movie. Maybe that could be it, but I still wouldn't find that as negative. Maybe it's that Jafar didn't look exactly minute details like Michael Jackson. I don't know. I just want to know an exact negative you guys have for it. An exact. Maybe you wanted more of the Jackson 5. Maybe you wanted more of their characters to be a little bit more in this movie. But I don't know. I really liked it. Really did. And maybe I'll go with a 10 out of 10. Maybe. For now, I'm going to go with a 9 out of 10. But I'm going to watch this movie again, and I'm going to see if that changes. But either way, 9 out of 10 for the Michael movie. And I can't wait to hear what you guys thought. I'm going to be talking about what I've been watching lately. For now, I've only actually been watching 2 things right now. No, actually 3. I rewatched something, and it was X-Men First Class over the weekend. I love the X-Men, and I was talking to friends about this. I'm so shook that the first 3 X-Men did come out, but then when X-Men First Class came out, everybody loved it. Like, there were a lot of people who were skeptical about the first 3 X-Men movies that came out. A little bit weird, a little bit not as comic accurate, but I still love those movies. But when X-Men First Class came out, I was really in love with X-Men First Class. And watching that movie again, I just love coming of age stories, and I especially love the coming of age with the X-Men, for the group in X-Men First Class, because they really were just such a cool group, like so cool. And watching that movie again, I'm like, this movie is incredible. Like, this is definitely one of Marvel's best when it comes down to it. I know after that you get X-Men Days of Future Past, which is also another really, really, really good X-Men movie. It's probably the best X-Men movie, if we're being for real. That or Logan. Probably Logan. I don't know. But I just really love the X-Men. And watching that movie again, it just makes me realize how cool of a group, how powerful, and how, like, connective they are. Like, I feel like anybody can identify with any of those characters. And it's so cool that you can do that. Like, and if you think about it, too, these are mutants from all over in different walks of life, different places, and for them to come together to just deal with all these crazy situations, insane. Like, I'm still choosing them. If I ever needed somebody to save my life, I'm choosing the X-Men hands down. If that button's there, I'm pressing it over and over and over again. But watching that movie again, it's just so, the soundtrack, James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender as Magneto and Professor X, and all these great, like, other characters that come into it, so cool. And I also love the Mystique. That Mystique is with this group at the start, the early version of this group, because I love Mystique. I think she's super cool. I honestly love a lot of the X-Men, even on both sides, Magneto's side and Professor X's side. I just love them. I think they're interesting, cool superheroes. And I'm just so glad that even when we get the mutant saga in the MCU, I just love how there is a blueprint of different characters that people love, people hate, whatever. And I love that we're probably going to get the best version of it in the MCU. Probably. But I really love watching that movie again, and I highly recommend it to you all. If you have never seen the X-Men movies, you guys are missing out, especially if you love superheroes. Because this, to me, is the best superhero group, hands down. Hands down. After that, there are 2 shows that I'm currently watching that I want to finish. Just a heads up, been watching Rooster still. I know I haven't said anything in a while, but I kind of wanted to, get a little bit more of a grasp of it and be more into it, like more see episodes that I could talk about a little bit more. And so far, I really love this show. Steve Carell is just a comedic genius, and all these other students that they have with their little one-liners and different monologues, it's so funny and so cool. And I love the way it's shot. Also, we have Jamie from Ted Lasso who plays a professor in it, and we have all these other different characters that are so funny and so cool. But I love the relationship that Steve Carell's character has with his students a little bit. Like he's kind of the voice of reason, but also his character is somebody who he's never been to college, but he's also trying to live that life now a bit, and he's trying to just be somebody different who's never really been like that. And it gives me vibes, and I always know I mention this movie a lot, but it kind of gives me a college version of The Secret Life of Walter Mitty type of vibes. Kinda. Not as on the touch, but a little bit. And it's so cool to see that with this, because there's so many lessons in this show that happen throughout, whether it's relationships, friendships, even just dilemmas that I think are really done well in this show. And I don't know how it's going to end, but there was a good note at the end of this recent episode that I really liked. Basically, at this college that Steve Carell's character is at as well, his daughter teaches there. She's a professor. And she's dealing with a very sucky situation with her husband, aka Jamie from Ted Lasso, who cheats on her with a student. And they end up getting separated, but the student that Jamie's character cheats on is pregnant. And now that is another dilemma that he has to deal with, or she has to deal with. But also, it's another love triangle because she's still in love with him. She's still having sexual relations with him, and it's conflicting. So there's this scene at the end of this recent episode where this one character who Steve Carell's character has really been kind of like a father figure for, has a nice moment where he just goes up and he just reminds the daughter, hey, you're so lucky. You have a dad who is so cool. I wish he was my dad. But my dad also, he's an a-hole. He never really cares. And there's a moment, obviously it gets a little comedic there, like with some things, but there's a moment where she realizes that. And at the end of the episode, she goes over, and usually there's times where she goes over to his house and she's always bringing up a certain situation or just checking up on him, up on him. But it just feels like finally there's this moment where she really goes back to being his full daughter, where she's just like, I need to tell you something. And she starts explaining her situationship. And that's how the episode ends. But it was a nice note. I really loved it. And those are the type of beats that this show covers really well, whether it's situationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's even just like very weird sucky dilemmas that happen in college. But I love it, and I really hope there's a season 2 with it. I really do, because I think there's more you can do through more seasons. There really is. I think there really is potential with it. Last but not least, I started Percy Jackson Olympians, the series, season 2. Not done with the first episode yet, but I have iffy feelings. Just to get out the way, one sec. I watched the first season, and I am also a huge fan of Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson books. Even the Rick Riordan books when they deal with the Roman side of the camp, I like those. I think it was the Mark of Athena or something. I forgot. I really did. But anyways, love the Logan Lerman movies. The Sea of Monsters was a little questionable, but that first Lightning Thief movie was awesome. I loved it. Watching that as a kid, incredible. But the Percy Jackson season 1 series, I wasn't the biggest fan of. And honestly, I kind of understood because, once again, this kind of feels like the Super Mario Galaxy dilemma. This is definitely more targeted towards kids, more targeted towards the kid who was the age of me when I was reading the Rick Riordan books. And I think that's awesome. Like, I love how they really make this look like a summer camp for kids. Like, when I was watching the Percy Jackson movie, yeah, it was cooler to me. But they also, let's be for real, they were like 30, 35 years old at a little summer camp. Even though it didn't actually feel like a summer camp, it felt like a soldier like group just in the woods practicing to fight gods. Like it was so cool. I implore you guys, if you've only seen season 1 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians and you've never seen the movies, please watch The Lightning Thief. Please. That movie is good. But season 1 obviously just didn't mesh with me too well. I thought it was a little bit more slower and a little bit more sillier than I thought. And there were some cool moments that they explained a little bit more and showed more than the movie did. But I still prefer the Lightning Thief movie with Logan Lerman. But season 2 so far of Percy Jackson Olympians, The Lightning Thief, or Percy Jackson Olympians, is actually pretty good. Like, I like it. I like the start of it. I love that we finally get Percy's brother in there. The Cyclops, ooh, the monster. But it's going good so far. It's going good. And I'm not done with it yet. I'm at the point where they get to Camp Half-Blood and Percy's talking with his brother about him being a son of Poseidon. And then Annabeth comes over to talk. But I'm liking how it does seem like it's getting a little bit more serious. I love how Luke is way more like, they're talking about his rebellion way more. I think it was kind of touched on the Sea of Monsters, but not as much. But I like how they're making Luke seem like the dude from the books. Because this seems like a more accurate thing. Like his whole rebellion, them being around the world, bothering people and stuff. I just think it's more accurate. But there's still a lot more episodes I gotta watch. And still can't give you a total review. But what I'm seeing so far, I like. But definitely check it out if you guys are a Percy Jackson fan. If you're a young fan of Percy Jackson, you definitely need to watch this because it's going to cover more than the movies and than like for the books. But I'm just impressed. I'm very impressed and I just can't wait to finish it. But yeah, guys, that's what I've been watching lately. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of film. I'm so glad I got to review a Michael Jackson movie. I've been waiting for it. Next stop is a Spider-Man movie. And I'm just glad you guys have been here lately. But I hope you guys have been here for this last point. And I just want to thank you guys. And make sure to like, subscribe, and follow PhilmPod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure that bell as well, along with following and subscribing our Spotify account. And just once again, thank you guys. We are so close to getting 200 subscribers. I hope in the future to get more than that. But I'm just grateful for even being close to that. But hey, tell a friend, tell anybody who loves movies, tell anybody who loves even hearing about movies in a good way, in a generic way, in a genuine way, to come and like, subscribe, and follow PhilmPod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. But make sure that bell as well. Make sure to stay safe, take it easy, and peace, y'all.